January 2020, planetary transits for Aquarius and Aquarius rising. Happy New Year! This is an equal house chart set up for 0 degrees Aquarius on the ascendant, Eastern Standard Time, New York. We begin January 1st, 2020, with 5 planets in Capricorn in the 12th house sector. The Sun at 10 degrees Capricorn, Mercury at 4 degrees, Jupiter at 6 degrees, Saturn at 21 degrees, and Pluto at 22 degrees of Capricorn. In the 10th house, we have the planet Mars at 28 degrees of Scorpio. Venus is placed at 14 degrees of Aquarius in the 1st house sector. In the 2nd house, we have the planet Neptune at 16 degrees of Pisces, with the moon at 18 degrees. Uranus is placed at 2 degrees of Taurus in the 4th house, retrograde. On January 10th, Uranus will turn direct motion at 2 degrees Taurus, 39 minutes, 8:33 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please note, if you know your astrological chart, don't forget to look at the natal condition of the 2 planets involved in transit. For example, if transiting Sun is square transiting Saturn in space on that day, first check to see if the Sun and Saturn form an aspect in your birth chart by conjunction, opposition, square, trine, or sextile. If it does, blend the quality of the transiting aspect with the quality of the natal or birth aspect. This rule should also be applied to planetary transits to natal planets. If transiting Saturn is square your natal moon, first look at the natal condition between the moon and Saturn. Should there be a natal trine between moon and Saturn, then a problem will arise transiting square, but will be resolved. Natal trine. On January 2nd, Mercury conjuncts Jupiter in the 12th house and brings the possibility of connecting with a spiritual teacher or guide who facilitates emotional healing. On January 3rd, Mars enters Sagittarius and moves into the 11th house sector. January 10th brings the full moon, 2:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, at 20 degrees of Cancer in opposition to the Sun at 20 degrees of Capricorn, spanning houses 6 and 12, shedding light on relationships with co-workers or a health issue. With the planet Mercury conjunct the Sun in the 12th and oppose the Moon in the 6th house, today will be busier than usual, communication-wise. It's also a good day to analyze subconscious motives, especially if they interfere with conscious desires. The Saturn-Pluto conjunction culminates on January 12th at 22 degrees of Capricorn in your 12th house sector. Please refer to my in-depth videos on the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Over the past 18 months, a psychological purge and a new foundation was hopefully laid. Use January 12th and 13th under the powerful conjunction of Mercury, Sun, Saturn, and Pluto in Capricorn to review whether or not the new framework is solid, determine what has been accomplished and what still needs to be implemented or improved upon. Write a to-do list, get organized, and get it done to take full advantage of the magnificent Jupiter-Pluto conjunction of 2020. The planet Venus enters Pisces on January 13th and moves into the 2nd house. On January 16th, Mercury enters Aquarius and moves into the 1st house. Mercury square Uranus on January 17th or 18th, depending on where you live, between houses 1 and 4 could indicate upsetting or unexpected news from a family member. Be diplomatic and flexible in your response. The Sun enters the sign of Aquarius on January 20th and moves into the first house. On January 22nd or 23rd, depending on your location, under the Sun square Uranus between houses 1 and 4, you can expect the unexpected. This day will not go according to your plans, especially in relation to home and family. January 24th brings the new moon at 4 degrees of Aquarius, 4:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the first house sector, bringing a personal fresh start and self-focus over the month ahead. This new moon is in square aspect to Uranus in the fourth house, so leave room for the unexpected. The planet Venus will square Mars on January 26th between houses 2 and 11, activating your romantic and sexual needs. On another level, a clash of values may cause friction with a friend or a group in which you participate. On January 27th, Venus conjunct Neptune in the second house could give you the desire to escape into romantic daydreams. There will be a need to get away from mundane concerns. Avoid doing so through excessive spending on luxury items that you don't need. Venus and Neptune together in the house of money can attempt to fulfill an emotional need, fantasy, or dream through purchasing impractical material goods. The end result is money being wasted. Take the time to question what you're doing and why. The Mars square Neptune energy of January 28th between houses 11 and 2 warns against indulging in excessive spending in order to attain personal goals and objectives. You may be operating under the illusion that money is the only element required to attain success. If you're working with a group, strive to cooperate and stick to group objectives, taking care to avoid egocentricity. Also, since Neptune rules infections and allergies, your health may be below par due to a cold or flu. Take care of you.